Sasnuhy. If you follow me on this channel, Sastas Armenia, I usually like to post about my country and represent, whether it's the culture or the food. And speaking of food, today I partnered with a very lovely girl, Ani, who is another YouTuber, and she has a cooking channel here in English. And today we decided to bake Armenian dessert, the very famous baklava.
Hello everyone, again as Sasnuhy said, I am Ani. Today we decided to collaborate with Sasnuhy for her channel. The result is our Armenian baklava. It's so delicious. Try to make it on your own and do not forget to subscribe to our channels. Missartisticsasnuhy.
I'm also an Armenian language beauty vlogger, if you're into that, and I also do this channel where I vlog life in Armenia. And don't forget to subscribe to Ani's channel to find out how to cook a variety of delicious foods, and she will for sure teach you guys how to cook very delicious Armenian foods too. If you want to know how we bake this deliciousness, I'm sure you saw that ooey gooey dough in the thumbnail, then keep on watching. Let's go. So, where do we start? You're the master behind all of this.
So we're starting from the sheet, from the middle
Puff
sheet. Puff pastry, yeah. To bake it beforehand.
Okay. So basically when you bake this dessert, you have to start with the puff pastry, okay? So what made you want to start a cooking channel on YouTube? Living in Armenia, because in Armenia, unfortunately, we don't have that many vloggers. And so when I noticed Ani vlogging, I said, we have to do a collab video, because if you watch my channel, Sastas Armenia, you've noticed that I try to promote Armenia as much as I can. And it's not just by, showcasing Yerevan or the people or events, but rather, I also want to introduce vloggers who have talent, and we're also trying to cook something which is technically Armenian. Now, I know a lot of people are going to start with their rants, oh, baklava is either it's Turkish or Greek, but actually I googled that and every region has their own recipe. And this is Ani's recipe.
This is my own.
This is my own baklava recipe. I've actually even heard that they're vegan baklavas too. Vegan as so it's basically there's no honey and there's no eggs. Yeah. I guess you can use chia seeds for the eggs. I'm gonna try it too.
So I'm going to put
the parchment paper.
How
do we say parchment paper in Armenian? A little class for everyone.
How?
You don't know? What's like awesome?
Galka?
Oh no, actually, okay, this is don't judge us. But if you're Eastern Armenian, then we're notorious for using Russian words. And sometimes we don't even know the Armenian equivalent, but we call parchment paper galka. Okay, say it with me. Galka. If any of you know how to say galka in Armenian, please let us know. We're kind of stupid.
I'm going to drizzle a little bit of oil.
Okay. What kind of oil? Just regular
vegetable oil. Just.
Okay.
And a puff pastry on the parchment paper. It's
basically we're gonna spread the puff pastry on the sheet.
This is the middle part.
Okay.
We'll try hard for the bottom and the top. I'm going to bake my puff pastry about 20 minutes, about 180 degrees.
So what we're going to do next is actually we're going to separate the egg whites from the egg yolk, because we're going to cook up the batter, and then later on towards the end we'll show you what we're going to do with the egg yolks. So let's go.
Now I'm starting from separating the egg yolks from the whites. I will need about 4 or 5 eggs, but I'm using 4.
Okay. What do you enjoy the most about cooking?
Separating the eggs. This is my favorite part.
Yeah, I think I don't know why I always receive this weird satisfaction when I separate. It's I feel like gratitude. I feel like, yay, I made an achievement. I was able to separate the egg white from the egg yolk.
Yes, because
it's crazy.
It's
hard. It's hard.
Yes.
That ain't easy.
But I succeed.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put egg whites
in the mixer. Okay.
In a high
blend away. The only time I blend is when I blend my eyeshadow. So we blended the egg whites, and now we're gonna add some sugar.
Half blended egg whites?
Yeah, we blended it for 2 minutes.
I'll write the exact amount of ingredients in the description box later.
Down below. And basically we're just gonna blend for a good 10 minutes.
About 10, depending on the dessert. Meanwhile, we can add the vanilla and cinnamon, yeah.
Ani made this fresh mulberry juice. Tastes amazing, by the way. Armenian mulberry. Tastes really good. I usually don't like sweet juices, but this has just the right amount of sugar in it. Ooh, it looks pretty. So it should look something like this.
Is it visible?
It should look something creamy like this. So you don't want to add too much cinnamon, otherwise the dessert will be a little too spicy. So you need just the right amount of the spice.
I chopped about 400 grams of walnuts, and I'm going to put it in the blender and mix them well.
So you can't have baklava without walnuts. Walnut is basically like the kryptonite.
The most important.
It's like the kryptonite of baklava. That's what it's notorious, famous for. When you bite into that dessert and you feel that crunchiness along with the honey and the walnuts, you got yourself the perfect Armenian dessert, baby.
By the way, you know I have half walnuts kept.
Okay.
For the decoration, for the final part.
Okay, so we'll see that towards the end.
And now we are waiting for our dough
To be. Oh, let me go check on that actually.
Okay.
Until that cooks, we're just gonna go and work with the rest of the puff pastry that we have. Since, like I said, I don't have potential wife credentials, domestic affairs, Ani is gonna let me roll the pastry.
I'm going to give you a try.
Yeah. So
Go ahead.
all right.
By the way, what is your favorite Armenian food?
My favorite Armenian food is, I don't want to go along with the crowd and say dolma, because I mean I do love dolma, but I would say it's definitely sabas, which I know is favorite.
Really?
Yeah.
You like spice?
I love
That's
sabas.
my adorable. Yeah. What about harissa? Do you like?
I like harissa too. Harissa is very tasty, especially if it's cooked well. I think you should do a recipe on harissa.
Oh,
Yeah.
I promise.
And what's your favorite dish besides sabas?
Besides sabas, besides dolma and harissa.
Is it khachapuri?
No, khachapuri is not considered to be Armenian. It's considered to be from Georgian cuisine, but
So there is a misconception that I read a lot in social media platforms that Armenians steal foods from their neighbors, but that's not true. The thing is that, and I also want to kind of explain that too, that since, you know, Armenians and Georgians and Russians and Greeks, that our cultures are so similar, and since we've lived in the same, you know, Caucasus region. Well, Greeks haven't lived in Caucasus, but since we lived in the same region, you will find that we eat a lot of the same foods. So there's constantly arguments over the internet whether this food was, I don't know, like Georgian, or whether it was belongs to like a Persian cuisine, or whether it belongs to an Armenian cuisine or Turkish cuisine. I'm sorry. I mean, we are neighbors.
we are sorry.
Yeah, we're sorry, but we eat a lot of the same foods, guys.
Yes, but we have really traditional
We do.
Armenian food.
Yeah. Roll the dough.
We're going to put half of our batter onto the.
You're putting half of the batter onto. Okay. All right. Ooh.
Is it half?
Yeah, a little bit more. A little bit
More?
more. Yeah. Okay.
So that's
and
enough.
you're gonna use.
By the way, meanwhile, you can roll the other sheet.
Perfect. So, what's your favorite Armenian dessert besides baklava?
Baklava.
Yeah.
I like Armenian gata. There are many ways of Armenian gata.
Love
It's also
gata.
depending on the regions. But I like gata from Garmi.
So we have a pagan, since Armenians used to be pagan before we
tasty.
converted to Christianity. And the only pagan temple left, which is the temple of Garni. So every time tourists or locals go to visit Garni, you'll always see like lots of women sitting outside selling authentic, delicious gata.
Homemade.
So if you're
gatas.
ever in Armenia and visit the temple of Garni, make sure you help an old lady out and you purchase that gata, okay?
Sheet is ready.
Okay.
Can you
Do the honors.
put it here?
We're gonna pour the rest of the batter onto this cooked sheet. Okay, so we just spread it.
Sasnuhy has already rolled the final dough.
You said
Can I help you?
Of course, go for it.
Okay. Spread it evenly. Next step. We're going to heat the honey.
We're gonna heat the honey?
Yeah.
And why is that? Why do we have to heat the honey?
So that it becomes juicy.
Okay. So basically you have to heat the honey so it can become a bit more liquidy and it won't be as dense. So it can slide on perfectly onto the baking sheets.
Can you help me with the dough?
Of course, my dear. Get this dough roll. Two, three,
4 and 5.
Okay.
Make sure your oven is preheated.
180 degrees Celsius
Yes, we're going to bake this
for
about
30 minutes.
35 or 40 minutes and with 80 degrees, but depending on your oven. I'm going to put the
Walnuts on top. So basically the walnuts are gonna be cooked on top.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay, I'll help you decorate.
of course. That's the decoration part.
Yeah. That's easy.
That's easy for you.
Ani is gonna top the dough with a bit of egg wash. Remember the eggs, the egg
Egg
yolks?
yolks.
Yeah, we separated.
You remember we separated?
Yeah, looks nice and gooey.
Yes, it should have
Yeah.
golden color.
Let the master do her work.
Now the decoration is over.
So we place the walnut on each little cake,
Yeah.
each little baklava, and this is gonna go into the oven for 35 minutes.
By the way, if you prefer the, almonds, you can put almonds on it, but
Yeah.
the traditional Armenian baklava is done with walnuts.
Alright, so we have the baklava cooked for 35 minutes, and this is what it looks like.
Yeah, it's hot.
It's pretty hot, but we'll
Let
give you
it
a
cool a
close
little
up.
bit.
And until it cools off, Ani is gonna drizzle the honey, the melted honey, onto the baklava because that's what's gonna give all the juicy flavor to it. Ani, will you do the honors, please?
Yes, of course.
Oops. Ooh, it's looking good.
And the flavor tastes so good.
Yeah, it tastes amazeballs.
And that's it.
You're gonna let the honey soak for a good 2 to 3 minutes, and then afterward, we're gonna indulge into this pastry. So stay tuned.
Our 5 minutes passed.
And the honey really soaked in, and now we're gonna devour this. Let's go on. Wow.
It smells so good.
It smells really good and it's nice and soft.
I'm so delicious.
It can't get any better than this. If you like honey and walnuts and crispy dough, this is your bake.
Nice
You gotta
combination.
try this.
Walnuts with crispy dough.
Honey and the cinnamon. Like Ani's house smells like a cinnamon factory. Cinnamon and honey factory. Hashtag potential wife.